Let's talk a little bit about the EB-5 investment and application process. The EB-5 investment process has three basic stages. First, making the investment and filing your I-526 application with the USCIS. Then, after approval, completing the so-called consular process and receiving your actual green card. And three, filing the I-829 petition to remove the conditions on your green card. In the first stage, the legal and investment processes run in parallel. The legal process typically takes longer. Depending on your individual case and the complexity of your source of funds, this phase typically takes anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 or 8 weeks. Meanwhile, the investment process is a simple and relatively fast process. Most investors can start and finish the investment process within a week. It's very similar to any other fund investment, such as a private equity, venture capital, or real estate investment fund process. It entails submitting an eligibility questionnaire, which our document services team reviews, and then you would receive the so-called subscription package. You can review the subscription documents at your own leisure and then sign the relevant pages. Finally, our team provides you with the wire instructions to make your investment, but all that can be done within about a week. Once you've wired your investment, it will sit in an escrow account until your immigration attorney has filed your petition. We use SunTrust Bank, which is one of the largest escrow banks in the world, and we also use an escrow administrator named NES to oversee the process. NES is the premier escrow administrator in the EB-5 industry. So Pine State, ourselves, never touch your capital. Once your petition has been filed and we've received a receipt from the USCIS, your investment will be released from escrow to Big River Steel. At that point, the clock starts on your 5-year investment. So for example, let's say you invest in the middle of September. Your petition is filed shortly thereafter, and we get the receipt from the USCIS before the month end. Then NES would release your capital to Big River Steel on October 1st, and you would be part of the so-called October tranche. 60 months later, so 5 years later, you would be eligible to receive your investment back, assuming your process is complete at that point. Today, the average processing time for the I-526 petition is around 17 to 20 months. However, those figures include projects with whom the USCIS is not yet familiar or which have some complications. In our case, Big River Steel received its I-924 approval in the summer of 2017, and we've filed almost 100 cases at this point. So the USCIS is very familiar with the project. As a result, we've been seeing an average processing time of about 11 to 14 months. The shortest adjudication time so far has actually been around 10.5 months, so much shorter than the industry average. Investors often ask, so what happens if our I-526 petition is denied? In the unlikely event of a denial, Pine State is committed to returning your capital right away, within less than 40 days. So you don't need to wait for the full 5 years to get your money back. As per our loan agreement with Big River Steel, the company maintains a sufficient capital reserve at all times to meet potential denial events. But to be clear, as long as you engage a top quality immigration law firm to vet and assemble your petition, we believe it's very unlikely that you will be denied. Our regional center has never had a denial, and we only work with immigration law firms who have stellar track records in this regard. Once you've been approved, the second phase takes around 2 to 3 months. It entails making an appointment for a consular interview, getting your fingerprints taken, other biometrics, and once that paperwork has been submitted and reviewed, you and your family are ready to receive your green cards. Assuming you come from a country that does not currently have a backlog, this means that you're likely to have your green card approximately around 18 to 20 months from the time that you invested. Now you have your green card and you can begin your life as a U.S. permanent resident. The third phase takes place precisely 24 months after you receive your green card. At this point, your attorney will file the so-called I-829 in order to have the conditions on your green card removed. Effectively, the filing is simply a matter of proving that sufficient jobs have been created. The attorney will file a verification letter from an independent economist who has studied the project and certified the number of jobs created. In our case, the verification letter has already been finalized by the independent economist group Evans and Associates, one of the most experienced such companies in the EB-5 space, certifying that over 10,000 jobs have been created, which is actually 2.5 times the jobs needed for all of the EB-5 investors. As soon as your attorney has made the I-829 filing, your process is deemed to be complete. At that point, you would be eligible to receive your investment back. However, if your total process took less than 5 years, you'd still have to keep your money invested until the end of the 60th month. Hopefully you found this summary overview helpful. We still recommend that you speak with a qualified immigration attorney who can provide more specific details and help to review your personal situation. On behalf of Pine State, I wish you a safe and successful journey.